Let's get into some shite. Hey, folks, welcome to the Outta Toon Podcast. Welcome back. We are back, and the first day back, someone's got their leaf blower outside. That's going to sound great during the show, right? But I appreciate you coming back, all you tuners, outfluencers, outsiders, whatever name that you want to go by. I'm okay with it. Thanks for coming back. It's hard to believe we're starting season 3 of the Outta Toon Podcast. We started off a totally different name. I think we did that for about a year. And when I realized it was going to stick around, made a little changes, and we became the Outta Toon Podcast. And then, for the summer, I've been making a few more changes. Did you catch the new theme music? Yeah, we got new theme music. Pretty awesome, right? Okay, so David Facemeyer, who he created the music, the new music. He also co-created the last music that we did, and it's pretty awesome. I wanted something fresh, because you've been away for a little while. It's not a brand new show. It's just, let's just say it's kind of grown a little bit. All right. Hopefully you'll notice the difference. All right. So we are in the holiday season. Most people mark the holiday season with decorations, music, Hallmark movies. Me, I welcome it with porch pirates. So yesterday I waited all day for an Amazon delivery. Actually, we waited 2 days. It was supposed to be there. Have you noticed Amazon does this? You look at something and it'll say, if you want, you're going to order it, and it'll say, be here today, later today. And I'm like, wow, okay. And I order it. It won't show up that day. I'll be like, well, tomorrow. We'll do it tomorrow. And then tomorrow they're like, maybe tomorrow. Just say it from the very beginning, okay? Anyway, when my package shows up, I went to get it. I ripped it open. I didn't even need to rip it open. It was already ripped open, and the contents were gone. Christmas early, all right? It wasn't a major heist. It was a $14 pair of reading glasses, but still, it's not worth going to jail over, right? 14 reading glasses. What are you in for? Murder? What are you in for? I stole some reading glasses. Some old guy, his Amazon package, and I ripped it open, and look at these cool glasses. Anyway, it's a warning, folks. Watch your stuff. I have a feeling it's going to be a big year for ripoffs, legal and illegal, both. So just watch your stuff. Hey, let's talk about the show for a minute. I've wanted to get more focused in what we do here for quite a while. You know, we talked about it a little bit. And after thinking about it for the summer, I've been thinking about who listens to the show. You know, why do you listen? We don't have tons of listeners, and that's fine. That's part of it. It's a unique group of people. And I realize something. We're all creative people, right? We all are creative. Not all artists in the traditional sense of being artists, but definitely what I would call life artists. We create, we tinker with stuff. We live a little bit sideways from the mainstream. Don't always fit perfectly alongside the regular people of the world. You know, we're outsiders. That binds us together, and I feel like it's kind of like everybody who comes to the podcast. That's sort of our common trait. That's what this podcast is about. It's about cultivating a creative approach to living life. So I feel like people who listen kind of live outside the norm. So we need to kind of learn how to live outside the norm without completely losing our mind, right? So that's where the podcast comes in each week, through stories, examples, some interviews. We'll do some interviews, tips. Also, complete utter nonsense. That's the tradition of this podcast. So we'll do all of that stuff, and I want you to be a part of it. Look, you just send your ideas, your comments, topics, suggestions, whatever, or just say hello. Just drop me an email. You can call the listener line. You might even end up on the show. You can also help spread the word. Just share the podcast with your friends on social media. Everything that you need to know about the podcast is available on the podcast website, outtoon.com. So visit. I'm struggling a little bit with speaking. Two things. One, just rusty. I haven't done the podcast in a while. I gotta lay back. I gotta kind of get used to it again. And also, allergies killing me, and age. I'm becoming an old man. That's why old people always, oh, talk way up here. You know, your voice just gradually disappears. And I feel like that's happening to me. I'm becoming like my granddad. This time of year, you know, it can feel like a creative drain. All the noise and the expectations just kind of steal from you, right? But it's also the perfect opportunity to channel that energy into something meaningful. Now, I don't know what that means for you, to you. It could mean making handmade gifts. Some people do that. Decorate in a completely offbeat style. Or maybe you just reinvent some old traditions with new creative twists. You know, music, story arts, whatever makes you come alive. You do that for the holidays. Make it yours. And that's going to tie in to today's topic, how to make your life more interesting. Not busier. I'm not going to give you a bunch of stuff to do. It's not going to be easier. Just interesting. More rich. Let's say you're going to have a richer life. You can have a richer life. That's a really craving, isn't it? It's not, we don't want less chaos necessarily. We want more aliveness. We all wish our life was easier sometimes. But here's the thing. Easy and interesting, they rarely show up at the same time. When you think about the best stories of your life, they probably didn't happen when everything was smooth and predictable. Almost all of our stories are about chaos, about something weird that happened, about something that everybody would just be like, I don't know how you could survive, right? They happened when you said yes to something new, or you just had to figure things out on the fly. We didn't have a plan. An easy life, it could be comfortable. It might be comfortable, but an interesting life, that's the one you remember and everybody else remembers. If your world feels small, maybe it's because your circle is small. Every person you meet opens up a new window into a completely different experience. So don't get hung up on who is your type. I think social media is kind of program that into us, right? We can, if somebody doesn't behave or act the way we think, we can just unfriend them. We could delete them from our lives. You don't have to be everybody's best friend. Just stay open, all right? Just say yes to small interactions. It's important. Start a conversation at a local event. Talk to people you wouldn't normally talk to, maybe. Have lunch with your enemy, somebody that you might consider, go just invite them to lunch. Or if you see them out, sit down at their table and eat with them. Date someone that's not your type. Don't do that if you're married. I mean, I'm just saying if you're dating, because sometimes just one new connection can reshape your entire world view. And I know because I did this. I spent, before I got married this time, I spent a year just meeting people, just going out and people that maybe I normally wouldn't date. I just met them and I didn't marry any of them, just one of them. But a lot of those people became some of my best friends. I still am friends with them 11 years later. Lately, I've been trying to make an intentional effort to talk to people who see the world differently than I do. And that's very difficult for me. People who have different politics, beliefs, backgrounds. I fall into that too. I can delete people, push the button, get them out of my life. What? You think that? You believe that? You support that? No, you're gone. You remember when you didn't do that? You just sat there and let people talk. We don't do that much anymore, though. You don't have to agree with them. It doesn't mean endorsing their views or agreeing with what they say. It just simply means letting them be human in your presence. That takes some work, but you can do it. You listen to their stories, maybe ask some questions, and don't judge them. And when you're done, you walk away. But you learn something, and not only that, but you can learn something about yourself. You can actually build skills that help you to be more open to people. You don't have to give up who you are. You don't have to be their best friend. But I just feel like you kind of meet some more interesting people that way. You know, it reminds you that even when we disagree, we share the same world. We're under the same sky. We all have the same need to be heard. And it's not just socializing, it's actual soul work. And I know that's a weird word. Whatever it is inside you, it helps you. It helps that part of you to grow. And that's one of the best ways to live an interesting life. We all have those things that we'd say we're going to try someday. I have a million of them. I have a list that goes on. And as I've gotten older, I've had to knock a lot of them off of that. But here's what I've learned. Someday, it's just not on the calendar. You don't need to quit your job or reinvent your life. Just carve out a little time to try something new. A new class, new hobby, new club, new something. Listen to a new podcast, watch a new show. I've been watching lots of new shows, things that I may not normally want to listen or watch, and listening to a lot of great new music. Here's the thing. Just get on whatever streaming service that you're on. I use Apple, and just listen to nothing but new music. And you'll always have to fast forward through something. There's going to be crap, but there's always crap. There's crap in our generation. But you're going to discover there's a lot of really, really, really good stuff out there. So get into doing new things. You don't have to be good at it. You don't have to be perfect at it. It's just about waking up parts of you that have been asleep for a while. And that's what that is the best at doing. Just try new things. You'll eventually stumble onto something that makes you feel alive again, that makes you feel like an artist, makes you feel creative, and you'll discover life again. I guarantee you. Planners, brace yourself. Sometimes the best moments happen off the schedule. This was something I got to sometimes have to tell my wife. I think my wife's much more regimented than I am. But spontaneity isn't chaos. It's being flexible enough to say yes when a chance appears. So you can keep the structure, but if a last minute adventure or opportunity comes your way, hey, go with it. Why not? There's no reason to shut down. Just try a new experience. Life doesn't send you a calendar of invites just for the good stuff. There's a lot of stuff that's going to happen. You just have to be ready when it shows up. Be open to it. If your life feels dull, it might not be boredom. It might be fear in disguise. Think about that. See, fear, it keeps you in the comfort zone, keeps you from exploring, going out. The comfort zone is the enemy of interesting. That's what I've found. So start small, take one step outside of what's familiar to you. Say the thing that you're scared to say. In public, in private, amongst friends, whatever. Just say it. Go ahead, do it. What's it gonna hurt? Try a project that intimidates you. Just jump in, say you're gonna do it. Because courage isn't about being fearless. It's about not letting fear make your decisions. And that's what we should do as life artists. Now, here's an idea. Just try things you don't like. It sounds weird, right? You know you don't like it. But sometimes the things we think we'll end up hating, they teach us the most. I mean, if you can't dance, take a dance class. If cooking stresses you out, sign up for a one workshop cooking and just try it. You might discover a hidden joy. You might even get a story out of it. We're all creatures of habits, right? And habits are great for stability, but they're terrible for surprise. So shake things up a bit. Try a new breakfast. Take a different route to work. Again, just listen to a music genre you've never heard before. Watch a movie you can't stand. Doesn't have to be big, just enough to remind you that life is still full of undiscovered moments, undiscovered areas. It's like we are on a journey. We're not trying to make ourselves comfortable until we die. We got this big life out there just to climb into. The quickest way to break free from the routine is just to stop thinking about your routine. Find ways to help somebody else. Share what you know, lend a hand, make someone laugh, go to the senior home, adopt a grandparent, adopt a person, go to the hospital, take them flowers, just talk to people. Helping others, it doesn't make the world better. It makes your world bigger. The best kept secret, interesting life handbook as far as I'm concerned. Here's a hard truth. Got my coffee. That's not the hard truth. Not every goal deserves to be finished. This is a kind of a difficult one for me, but it's one that I've accepted. Sometimes we outgrow our dreams. I've had to let a lot of them go. If something you've been chasing no longer feels right, give yourself permission to stop. It's okay. You can quit. And even, look at it this way. You're not quitting. You're evolving. Okay? You did something for a while. Wasn't something you liked. If you put something in, if you're eating and you eat a dish, not the whole dish, but you eat a mouthful of food that you don't particularly care for, you don't have to eat the rest of it. So just move on. It frees you up to do something else that's much more interesting. Here's the thing. It's important for creative people. Never settle. I know it's bad if you're a lawyer, but for artists, never settle. Now, that doesn't mean resting. It means never stopping your growth. Don't let comfort solidify your routine. You don't have to move cities or change careers to stay fresh. You just have to stay awake. Every stage of life has room for discovery. Even when responsibilities pile up, the mortgage, job, kids, creativity can live right there in the middle of it all. That's what makes us artists. The moment you think you have to live small, that's the moment you start shrinking. So don't keep expanding. Don't settle for what's around you. Look for more. Branch out. All right, so maybe the real secret to an interesting life isn't some big reinvention like I had to do with the podcast. I mean, sometimes you do need to, but it isn't always about that. Does the podcast need a little reinvention? Well, maybe. But maybe it just needs a little decoration, like Charlie Brown's sad little Christmas tree. Maybe that's all that's necessary. Maybe all that it needs is simply staying awake to what's already here and being willing to stretch a little further. Meet people, try new things, be curious, be kind. Keep adding your own spark to the world around you, because that is what it's about. That is why we're here. An interesting life is not going to just happen to you. Some people sit and wait for it. It's not. You have to build it. That's the secret. You are in charge of building it, moment by moment, choice by choice. That's what's important, and that's what you have to do. You are in charge. It's not going to fall into your lap. All right, I'm going to say goodbye. Thanks, guys, for coming back by. It's going to be rusty for a few times. I got to get back on the, you get back in the chair. Got to take a little while to learn how to talk again. But I appreciate you coming by. Podcasts, 15, 20 minutes. That's all we're going to do. No one needs to listen too much longer than that. If something I said hit home, just try one. Just do one to see if it can grow. All you have to remember is your life doesn't have to be extraordinary to be interesting. You just have to show up for it. Think about it. You're the key. You're the one that makes it happen. All right, people, show up. Hopefully you'll show up next week. I will. I'll be seeing you then. So have a good week.